Good morning. I am Anil Kumar, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, Soundarya Institute of Management and Science. In this video, I am going to explain consignment account and the relationship between consignor and consignee, and how to treat the expenses on consignment and how to treat the normal and abnormal loss on consignment. And it's very important topic for every accounting students, whether you are doing BCom, MCom, CA, ICWA, whatever, and you have to learn some knowledge about this consignment account. For every businessman or for every traders, when they are selling goods at maximum level, they have to find some another source, and that another source is consignment. Say for example, Mr. A, he operating his business in Bombay, and now he want to sell his goods in another city. How he can sell? He can't travel, and the movement is very difficult. So Mr. A appointed Mr. B, and Mr. B operating in Goa. So here Mr. A appointed Mr. B as a agent to sell his goods on consignment basis. Here Mr. A giving some goods to Mr. B to sell the goods at his place, and Mr. B selling goods on behalf of Mr. A. Here the relationship between Mr. A and Mr. B is principal and agent relationship. On consignment basis, Mr. A sends goods to Mr. B. Here Mr. A sends goods to Mr. B, and Mr. B has to sell goods on behalf of Mr. A, and Mr. B has to return the amount to Mr. A. And here what is the benefit Mr. B is going to get? Here the Mr. B is going to get a commission based on sales. For example, Mr. A sends 10 lakh rupees worth of goods to Mr. B, and Mr. B sold 5 lakh worth of goods. So according to the agreement, Mr. A has to pay 10% commission on sales. Here Mr. B going to get a 10% commission on 5 lakh rupees. It will come 5 lakh multiplied by 10%. So 50,000 is the commission for Mr. B. So this entire process is called as consignment. Here ownership will not going to change. Ownership remains as it is. Here Mr. A is the owner of the goods, and Mr. B is selling goods on behalf of Mr. A on a commission basis. So overall, the consignment means it's an agreement between the two parties. The two parties are, one is consignor and one is consignee. And here the manufacturer or wholesaler sends goods to his agent for sales purpose on a commission basis. This is called as consignment. Here the person who sends goods on consignment is called as consignor. Here Mr. A sending goods to Mr. B, so the person who sends goods is called as consignor. Consignor, nothing but principal. And the person to whom the goods are sent is called as consignee. Consignee, nothing but agent. In common language, we are calling Mr. A as a principal and Mr. B as a agent, but in accounting language, we should use Mr. A as a consignor and Mr. B as a consignee. Now, while sending the goods, both Mr. A and Mr. B has to incur some expenses for dispatching and selling the goods. In consignment, the expenses are classified into two types. One is non-recurring expenses, one is recurring expenses. So here, classification of expenses. The first one, non-recurring expenses. So non-recurring expenses are those expenses which are incurred only once and they are not repetitive in nature. And I will explain this concept with an example. Mr. A, located in Bombay, his godown located in Bombay, and Mr. B is an agent and he's operating his business in Bangalore. Now, Mr. A sends goods to Mr. B, that is from Bombay to Bangalore. So, the expenses incurred to reach the goods from the place of consignor to the place of consignee is called as non-recurring expenses, and these expenses incurred only once. Here Mr. A has to send goods from Bombay to Bangalore. So in order to bring the goods from Bombay to Bangalore, both consignor and consignee has to incur some expenses. Such expenses are called as non-recurring expenses, like carriage, loading and unloading charges, loading and unloading charges, octroi, custom duty, insurance in transit, packing. These are the expenses which are incurred from the place of consignor to the place of consignee. In simple word, non-recurring expenses nothing but the expenses incurred on transit or the expenses incurred on road. These called as non-recurring expenses. Now, the recurring expenses. So, recurring expenses means these are the expenses which are incurred regularly and they are repetitive in nature. Here, after reaching the goods to the place of consignee, consignee has to incur some expenses to sell the goods. Like Mr. B has to pay godown rent, and he has to sell goods to customer. For that he has to incur some expenses like selling expenses, advertisement, showroom rent, warehouse expenses, and salesman salary and commission. So these are the expenses which are incurred after the goods reach the place of consignee. Such expenses are called as recurring expenses. So these expenses are called as recurring expenses, and these expenses are called as non-recurring expenses. Non-recurring expenses means the expenses incurred from the place of consignor to the place of consignee, nothing but the expenses incurred on transit or the expenses incurred on road. So the recurring expenses means the expenses incurred after reaching the goods to the place of consignee, like godown rent, selling expenses, advertisement, showroom rent, warehouse rent, selling commission and salesman salary, and these are the expenses were incurred after reaching the goods to the place of consignee. This is called as non-recurring expenses and this is called as recurring expenses. Now the next topic is the treatment of normal loss and abnormal loss and consignment. When goods were damaged, the consignee is not responsible for such loss. That is, the agent is not responsible for the loss of goods. Here, the consignor has to bear such losses. Here, losses are classified into two types. One is normal loss, one is abnormal loss. And how to treat the normal loss and abnormal loss on consignment. I will explain. Treatment of normal loss. Normal loss means when goods are damaged or lost because of expected reasons, like goods damage due to leakage, evaporation, breakage, and such reasons are called as normal loss. When goods are damaged due to normal loss, the loss of goods should be deducted from total quantity. Deducted from total quantity. For example, Mr. A sends 1000 kg of oil to Mr. B, and the normal loss is 100 kg. So Mr. A sends 1000 kg of oil to Mr. B, and the price of oil is at rupees 10 per kg. Now the goods sent on consignment. Goods sent on consignment. So much? 1000 kg multiplied by the cost per kg is 10. So 10,000 rupees. This is the total amount, and this is total quantity. Total quantity is 1000 kg. So in 1000 kg, the normal loss is 100 kg. So here 100 kg should be deducted from total quantity. So 100 kg and not from total amount. So here 900 kg and 10,000 rupees. So when normal loss, the quantity of loss should be deducted from total quantity and not from total amount, because this normal loss we already expected and is already a part of the cost of production. That's why we are not deducting the value from the total amount. Deduct only the quantity from total quantity. So this is the treatment of normal loss. Normal loss means when goods were damaged because of the expected reasons, like goods damaged by evaporation, leakage, breakage, and lost in transit. And these reasons, if the goods were damaged, such a loss are called as normal loss. Now the treatment of abnormal loss. The treatment of abnormal loss. Abnormal loss means when goods were damaged because of unexpected or unnatural reasons, like goods damaged by fire, or goods damaged by theft, or goods damaged in earthquake, and these are the reasons for the abnormal loss. And how do you treat this abnormal loss in consignment? When abnormal loss is occurred, the value of the quantity of goods should be deducted from total quantity and also from the total amount, because these abnormal losses which were not expected. That's why we should deduct abnormal loss from total quantity and also from total amount. So this is the treatment of normal loss and also abnormal loss. Okay, sir. Now I will explain how to calculate the value of closing stock on consignment. This is the format for calculating the value of closing stock. So before moving to this format, let's once again discuss what is normal loss and abnormal loss, because on consignment the identification of normal loss and abnormal loss is very important. So normal loss arises because of evaporation, leakage, breakage, dusting and drying of goods, and the abnormal loss arises because of fire, flood, earthquake, theft, accidents in transit. Let's move on to the format. So this is the format for calculating the value of unsold stock. So your goods sent on consignment, add non-recurring expenses of consignor, means the expenses incurred from the place of consignor to the place of consignee, nothing but the expenses incurred on road or transit. Now deduct the normal loss and abnormal loss which were incurred in the time of transit. In normal loss, we should deduct only the total quantity because the normal loss which we already expected and it's already a part of the cost of production. That's why deduct only the total quantity and not the total amount. And in abnormal loss, deduct both the total quantity and total amount because it's a sudden event which we are not expected. We will get cost of goods received by consignee. Now add non-recurring expenses of consignee and deduct normal loss and abnormal loss in go down. Nothing but these are the losses occurred in the place of consignee. Now deduct sales, you will get the value of closing stock or the value of unsold stock. And this is the problem on calculation of value of unsold stock. Let's go through the problem. Lokesh of Mysore sends 2000 kg of oil at rupees 120 per kg to Natraj, Hubli. Here Lokesh sending goods to Natraj. So Lokesh located in Mysore and Natraj located in Hubli. Now here goods sent on consignment. How much? Lokesh sent 2000 kg of oil and the cost per kg of oil is 120 rupees per kg of oil. So you will get 2,40,000 and the total quantity is 2000 kg. 2000 kg. Now the consignor spends 11,000 towards cartage, insurance and freight. So this is the non-recurring expenses, cartage, insurance and freight, because these expenses incurred in the time of transit. So add non-recurring expenses of consignor. So cartage, insurance and freight. How much? 11,000 rupees. 11,000. Now deduct normal loss in transit. So here on the way 100 kg of oil was lost due to leakage. If goods lost due to leakage, it's a normal loss. In normal loss, we should deduct only the total quantity. How much? 100 kg. 100 kg. Deduct only the total quantity and not the amount. And next, abnormal loss in transit. In this problem, there is no abnormal loss, so leave it. You will get 2000 kg minus 100 kg, 1900 kg and 2,40,000 minus 11,000. 2,40,000 minus 11,000, you will get 2,29,000. So this is the cost of goods received by consignee. Now add non-recurring expenses of consignee. Natraj took delivery of the consignment and spent rupees 9,000 on octroi and carriage and selling expenses rupees 7,000. Here octroi and carriage is the non-recurring expenses and not the selling expenses, because selling expenses incurred after the goods reached at in the place of consignee. That's why selling expenses should not be taken. Take only octroi and carriage. Octroi and carriage is rupees 9,000. You will get goods available for sale is 1900 kg and 2,29,000 minus 9,000, 2,20,000. Now, in this problem, there is no normal loss in go down and abnormal loss in go down. So, there is no normal loss and abnormal loss in go down. So, leave it. Now, deduct sales. In last, deduct sales. So, 1700 kg of oil sold. Nagraj sold 1700 kg of oil. So, sales is 1700 kg. Now, calculate the value of closing stock. Value of closing stock. 1900 kg minus 1700 kg. You will get 200 kg is the value of closing stock, and calculate the value of closing stock in terms of amount. And how to calculate the value of closing stock in terms of amount means, here 2,20,000 rupees incurred for 1900 kg, then how much for 200 kg? So 2,20,000 rupees, 2,20,000 rupees incurred for 1900 kg, then how much for 200 kg? You will get 23,157. 23,157 is the value of closing stock. So this is the solution for this problem. Okay, thank you.